wealthy businesswoman receives a speeding ticket and walks into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom. From the start, she insults the judge, refuses to pay, and even tries to leave before the hearing ends. But what Judge Caprio does next proves that wealth doesn't earn respect and arrogance has its price. This is Patricia Whitmore's story, a clear example of what happens when entitlement faces true authority in a courtroom where integrity counts more than money. Tell us where you're watching from, because this story about accountability connects with everyone who's tired of seeing the rich act as if rules don't apply to them. It's Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., at the Providence Municipal Court. Judge Frank Caprio is preparing for what appears to be a routine speeding case when his bailiff quietly warns him, "Your Honor, this defendant has been difficult with court staff." The citation reads, Patricia Whitmore, 48 years old, charged with driving 25 mph over the limit in a residential area. The officer's notes mention she was argumentative, claimed she was too important to be stopped, and initially refused to sign the ticket. Patricia enters the courtroom dressed in designer clothes from head to toe, carrying a luxury handbag. She checks her phone repeatedly, making it obvious through her posture that she sees this process as a waste of her time. "Miss Whitmore," Judge Caprio begins calmly, "you're here regarding a speeding citation. Please come forward." Patricia walks up slowly, still looking at her phone. "Miss Whitmore," the judge says firmly, "I need your full attention. Please put your phone away." Patricia looks up, clearly irritated. "I'm handling important business matters," she replies. "Can we get this over with quickly? I have real things to do today." The courtroom grows tense at her dismissive tone toward the judge. "Ms. Whitmore, this is a court of law," Judge Caprio says firmly. "You will give it your full attention. You were cited for driving 55 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. How do you plead?" "This is ridiculous," Patricia replies sharply. "That speed limit is unreasonable for that road. I drive there every day without any issues." Judge Caprio remains calm but assertive. "That's not what I asked. How do you plead to the charge?" "Fine, whatever," she mutters. "I was speeding. Can I just pay the fine and go? I don't have time for this." As the judge reviews the citation, Patricia continues to show impatience. "Ms. Whitmore," he says, "driving 25 miles over the limit in a residential area is serious. There are children, families." Patricia cuts him off. "I know that area. Parents should teach their kids not to play near the road. I shouldn't have to crawl at 30 miles an hour because others can't supervise their children." The courtroom murmurs disapprovingly at her cold response to child safety. "Ms. Whitmore," Judge Caprio replies steadily, "the speed limit exists to protect everyone in that community, not just children. Your attitude toward this citation is troubling." "My attitude?" she snaps. "I'm a successful businesswoman being lectured by a small-town judge about a road I drive every day." "This is a waste of my time and taxpayer money." Judge Caprio stands, his patience wearing thin. "Ms. Whitmore, you are in a courtroom. You will show respect for this process." "Respect for what?" she scoffs. "For you rubber-stamping tickets to make revenue? I know how this system works. I'll pay the fine and leave." "Ms. Whitmore," the judge states firmly, "your fine is $350 plus court costs." Patricia lets out a dismissive laugh. "That's it? I spend more than that on lunch. Put it on my card so I can go." "This isn't a restaurant, Miss Whitmore. This is a courtroom and you're treating it like an inconvenience instead of a serious proceeding." Patricia folds her arms. "Because it is an inconvenience. You're acting like I'm a criminal just for driving a little fast on an empty road." Judge Caprio keeps his composure, trying to emphasize the seriousness of her actions, but Patricia's entitled attitude only grows. "Miss Whitmore," he says evenly, glancing at her record, "you've had 3 prior speeding tickets in the last 2 years. So what?" She replies casually, "I paid them all. That's how this works, right? You issue tickets, I pay them, everyone's satisfied." "No, Miss Whitmore, that's not how it works," he responds firmly. "Each violation reflects reckless behavior that could endanger others." Patricia rolls her eyes. "Oh, please. I'm an excellent driver. I've been behind the wheel for 30 years without a single accident." "Your clean accident record is fortunate," the judge says calmly, "but it doesn't excuse repeated violations of the law." Patricia lets out a sigh, her tone dripping with condescension. "Look, Judge, I'm a busy person. I run 3 companies, employ over 200 people. And I probably contribute more to the city's taxes than most people here will make in their lives. A murmur ripples through the courtroom at her blatant arrogance. Miss Whitmore, Judge Caprio replies, voice steady but sharp. Your wealth or status has no bearing on your responsibility to follow traffic laws. Really? She shoots back. Because from my perspective, this whole system seems designed to squeeze money from people like me, the ones who actually contribute to society. Judge Caprio's tone hardens. Miss Whitmore, I'm going to ask you one last time to show respect for this court. And if I don't? She says mockingly. What are you going to do, find me more money I don't care about? You can't intimidate me. I'm not some timid kid or a struggling person who needs to bow before you. The courtroom falls silent, stunned by Patricia's open defiance toward judicial authority. Judge Caprio. Miss Whitmore, your attitude here is just as troubling as your speeding. Both reveal a lack of respect for rules and public safety. Patricia casually picks up her phone. Are we done? I have important meetings to attend. Judge Caprio. Put that phone down, Miss Whitmore. We are not finished, Patricia smirks. Actually, I think we are. She turns toward the door. Send me the fine. My assistant will handle it. Narrator. If this courtroom moment shocks you, don't forget to like and subscribe to Judge Stories YT, where we share more cases like this one. Judge Caprio. Miss Whitmore, if you take another step toward that door without my permission, you'll be held in contempt of court. Patricia stops, turning back with a mocking smile. Contempt for what? For not being impressed by your little setup here? Judge Caprio. For repeatedly showing disrespect to this court. For trying to walk out in the middle of a hearing. And for displaying the same arrogance that makes you a threat on the road. Patricia scoffs. A danger? Because I won't grovel before a judge in a small municipal court. The judge's tone deepens, resonating through the room. You're a danger because you think the law doesn't apply to you. Because your wealth makes you believe you're above responsibility or basic courtesy. And because you disregard the safety of others. This is absurd. I'm leaving, Patricia declares, stepping toward the exit. Judge Caprio. Bailiff, ensure Ms. Whitmore remains in the courtroom. The bailiff steps forward. For the first time, Patricia's confidence falters. You can't keep me here, she says. But her voice now carries less certainty. I absolutely can. You're in my courtroom and you will remain here until this hearing concludes. Now please sit down. Patricia stays standing, her pride clashing with the sudden realization that her control is slipping away. Miss Whitmore, sit down now, or I'll add a contempt charge to your speeding violation. Patricia reluctantly returns to her seat, her attention finally off her phone. Let's go over your case clearly. You were cited for driving excessively fast in a residential area. This is your 4th speeding ticket in 2 years. You've shown no remorse, no sense of accountability, and you've repeatedly disrespected this court. I don't have to stand here and be lectured by... Yes, Miss Whitmore, you do. That's exactly what's happening right now. The courtroom watches as Judge Caprio calmly dismantles Patricia's arrogance piece by piece. He leans back, his expression firm but not angry. Miss Whitmore, your original fine was $350. However, due to your behavior here today, I'm increasing it to the maximum, $500 plus court costs. Patricia's face tightens with disbelief. You can't do that. I can and I am, the judge replies firmly. Additionally, you're required to attend a driver safety course within 30 days. A driver safety course? I've been driving for decades, clearly not effectively given your 4 speeding tickets. You'll complete the course and provide proof to this court. This is absurd. I'll appeal this. You have that right, Miss Whitmore. I encourage you to explain to an appellate judge how you conducted yourself here today, and see if they're sympathetic. Patricia's confidence begins to crumble as she realizes the seriousness of the situation. Furthermore, Judge Caprio continues, I'm adding a contempt of court charge for your behavior today. That's an additional $200 fine. For what? For not kissing your ring? For repeatedly disrespecting this court? For trying to leave during an active hearing? And for showing complete disregard for legal procedure? Your total fine is now $700. Plus court costs, which brings it to $850, along with mandatory traffic school. Patricia's face stiffens as she realizes her attitude has just cost her far more than it should. You're punishing me for being successful. I'm holding you accountable for breaking the law and for showing contempt toward this court. Your wealth has no bearing on your duty as a citizen. I want to speak to your supervisor. I don't have one, Miss Whitmore. I'm the chief judge of this municipal court. But you're free to appeal if you wish. Subscribe to Judge Stories. Hi for more real moments where arrogance meets accountability. Patricia stands quietly, perhaps for the first time realizing that her money and influence hold no power here. Miss Whitmore, let me make something clear. This court sees people from all walks of life. Some struggle to pay their fines. Others, like you, consider them pocket change. But the law applies equally to everyone. Patricia remains silent, her earlier confidence completely gone. When you speed through residential areas, you're not just violating traffic rules, you're putting lives at risk. Children play there. Elderly people walk there. Families live there. Your convenience is not more important than their safety. Your attitude today shows exactly why you continue to get tickets. You don't believe the rules apply to you. You think business success exempts you from courtesy and responsibility. For the first time, Patricia looks uneasy rather than defiant. I tell everyone who comes before me the same thing. This court values character over wealth, and today, Miss Whitmore, you've shown very poor character. Can I just pay the fine and go? Yes, the judge replies, but first you'll apologize to this court for your disrespectful conduct. What? She asks, taken aback. You heard me, he says firmly. You will apologize for your behavior, or I'll add another contempt charge. Patricia stands silently, caught between pride and practicality. Miss Whitmore, I'm waiting. Judge Caprio reminds her. I apologize for my behavior in court today, she says flatly. Say it like you mean it, the judge insists. Patricia takes a steadying breath. Your Honor, I apologize for being disrespectful to you and to this court. My behavior was inappropriate, Judge Caprio nods. Apology accepted. Now let's be clear about what happens next. You will pay $850 in fines and court costs. You must also complete traffic school within 30 days and provide proof to this court. If you receive another speeding ticket within the next year, I will personally review your case and consider suspending your license. Patricia nods, realizing the seriousness of her situation. And Miss Whitmore, he adds, the next time you drive through that neighborhood at 55 miles an hour, remember this moment. Remember that your time isn't more valuable than other people's lives. Yes, Your Honor, she replies quietly. You're dismissed. The clerk will handle your payment. As Patricia walks toward the clerk's office, her demeanor changes. Less arrogance, more humility. Perhaps she's beginning to understand that respect isn't earned through wealth, but through character and conduct. Patricia Whitmore's case serves as a reminder that entitlement and arrogance always meet their match in a fair courtroom. Money may offer comfort, but it cannot buy respect. Accountability belongs to everyone, no matter how powerful they believe they are. Judge Frank Caprio once again demonstrated that true authority doesn't rely on anger or volume. It relies on integrity and fairness. It simply requires firmness, fairness, and consistency, even in the face of disrespect. Here's something to reflect on. When we achieve success, do we use it to seek special treatment? Or do we remember that wealth and position never excuse us from basic respect and responsibility? Patricia discovered that the courtroom is life's ultimate equalizer, where one's integrity carries far greater weight than any amount of money, and where judges like Frank Caprio remind us that justice remains truly impartial, regardless of financial privilege. Be sure to subscribe to Judge Stories YT for more remarkable courtroom moments, where fairness prevails and entitlement receives the response it deserves.